Hey, folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly. We're back with another East Tennessee fishing report with the man himself, Ellis Ward. Ellis, how are you?
I am good, Marv. I'm dying some bucktail. It's a balmy 50 degrees here in Tennessee, so life is good.
Yeah, you're on the weather yo-yo, too, like we are. So what does that lead to on the water?
Honestly, we have had so much uncertainty with flows that I think this isn't the first time it's happened, and it won't be the last. And I'm now year 6, so we keep making it happen, and making it happen meaning making big fish eat flies. But one thing it could look like is we're taking that. I'm focusing on maybe a couple hours of a release on the tailwaters for trout fishing. I'm looking at maybe a top run versus maybe a bottom run in different water constraints with musky. It's been high and low there too. For trout, it's the weather is, you may or may not get hatches, but when you're getting these hour pulses or 2-hour pulses, or the South Holston just started sluicing 200. They have a scheduled generator out. It's referred to as an outage, but the generator's turned off for maintenance for 2 or 3 months. So they're sluicing to manage levels and, all these other different guidelines that they have. And I haven't had an interview with the bugs or the trout for that matter, but they do like a certain amount of consistency. And so when you have what I'm feeling right now, I'm standing outside, it's this really unsettled wind. We have a little front coming in. We might get a little bottom out and things of the barometer, and things kind of feel stable for an hour or two. But when you're getting a lot of wind, it's tough to get them on top. You might be able to get some aggressive caddis eaters. It's it's really early for that, but we're going to start to see some small caddis coming off here in the next week or so. But to say, okay, this is where I'm seeing risers, and this is a good time to be going out for the BWO hatch, man, I'm out there. I've been out there 5-6 days a week for the last month, and there are days that should be blizzards of blue-winged olives, and I don't see one rising fish. And so I think that has, the tailwaters just have this interesting layer where you look at certain zones and say, wow, that looks really good. Actually, it sucks because of this, that, and the other, all of which have to do with the tailwater stuff, the high versus low water, versus the freestone, where it's like, yeah, that's none of these conditions apply to that. So, long answer to say, a lot of the uncertainty and fluctuations that we're seeing, and most of the time, that's bite windows for streamers. That's consistent risers, consistent fish feeding in the same zones for trout on little dry flies, and then seeing musky where they should be doing things that they should be. That's as inconsistent as it gets. But all of that's contingent more so on flows than it is on weather. And I'm saying that just compiling data and seeing so many days where it's perfect. And so we are still getting, we're still getting things lining up. And you were here. We snapped into a couple risers, but man, spotty, that spot we were in was weird, and they were munching. And so same story. It's go out with a certain degree of intention, understanding that you have no idea what's going to happen, and do your best and be prepared for not just the worst, but be prepared for everything. If we end up fishing dry flies for 90% of the trip, um, both of us better be prepared for that. And that just means having the right gear and the right mindset.
Yeah, I would say on the mindset front, it's kind of funny because, I kind of was with you kind of between two fronts, some sunny weather, a lot of snow melt in the river. I was kind of thinking driving home that, you really have to approach this post-spawn streamer game really like musky fishing from a focus perspective. Because we got fish, but there were 3 tough days of fishing. And it's like, remember we got that first eat like at like 5:45, 6:00, right? And I screwed up the set, right? Because I
Yeah.
was just like, been going all day long without much love. And we got bailed out on the dry flies. But kind of that focus thing was just something kind of from a mental perspective. I was kind of processing when I came back from that trip.
Yeah. And it's unsurprising to me that I enjoy both guiding and fishing of how much I like guiding and fishing for muskie, which is, you think about muskie, right? It's everyone already has this idea. Okay. Take that idea and now say you're going on a trout fishing trip. I have very few clients, very few. And at this point, I have so many great repeat, just sick in the head animals who come to fish with me. Couldn't be more grateful for that. We're fishing dry flies. They have this background. There's this layering. And again, not disparaging. People do what they want. It's a good way to catch fish, blah, blah, blah. If you want to get a 26-inch brown trout to take the rod out of your hand because it eats so hard, and then strip set, land it, all that other stuff, the only way to do it is to spend time to do it and to teach. And from the rower's seat, from the guide perspective, to understand that I'm not envious of anyone who's rowing a boat saying, yeah, they don't eat streamers on this river when they haven't experienced that themselves, or they don't have however many pieces of data that I have. Cause we're going through this, and I'm looking to the next spot. I'm looking to the next spot. I'm looking to the next spot. We get you can't believe how big that fish was, and you can't believe how fast it ate, and it's there and gone in a tenth of a second. And then we're looking to the next spot, and then we're looking to the next spot. And without that, like, it really is a mind game. Without that mindset of, we're out here for that one, that two, it's easy to start to fall off a little bit. It's really easy, and you see this with muskie all the time, even though people come in with the expectations. Maybe you get a follow early or something like that. This is a very common one. Within 2-3 hours, we don't get another follow. It's like, yeah, well, that was the spot. We were there in, first light. To expect another follow immediately, and to need that feedback moving forward to stay as focused as you were at the beginning. Why do you think you got that eat? Because you were that focused. So you have to really load up your brain with the data to support what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to start to nymph. You're going to swing. You're looking for risers, whatever. But it's a mental game of this. This is not purposeless. There is a point to this. They do exist. We're going to get one, and you keep hammering it. And it's tough to do with trout because there's other options along with, all the conventional wisdom that that supports how crazy it feels.
Yeah. It's interesting too, right? Because I mean, you and I have talked about this. I mean, the difference between hunting big fish and accidentally catching big fish.
Yeah.
Right? Do you want to go to the casino and, put your marker down on the roulette table on black 21, right? And see if it hits or not, versus going out and chasing them. But, I know you're elbow deep in death on the bucktail front. You want to let folks know kind of, what you're going to drop in this next bucktail drop, as well as, obviously it's warming up. So we're going to get to the caddis hatch here pretty soon. We'll be talking about that probably next time we chat, how to get on the boat and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. Best way to talk about anything, bucktails, strips, is my cell phone at 513-543-0019. Website is elliswardflies.com. I'm on Instagram at Ellis Ward Guides. Mid to late April, start getting your streamer fish and trips, caddis fishing trips, whatever you want to call them. Things are going to start to pop, and it's a fun time to be on the water. For trout, for musky, it's pre-spawn and kind of last call for, a little bit of a break, coinciding with that late April, early May when they're spawning. And bucktail, I'm going heavy naturals this time. I've got a couple big orders out to a few shops, and I might be doing a few colors, but there's going to be I have so many in the freezer, and I've just not had time to focus on it. So best way to stay tuned into that is go to my website, sign up for the newsletter. I send out emails that give you access. One day early. You don't need anything else. It's just you sign up for the newsletter. So for the people who care, they get to know, ahead of time. And honestly, it's that day where the grade 1s, 2s, and most of the 3s sell out.
Got it. Well, listen, folks, as we start to warm up, if it's warm enough to fish where you are, get out there and catch a few. Otherwise, tie flies. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Ellis.
Appreciate it, Mark.